Good morning, friends. Good morning. There was no chanting today, I'm afraid, because I was a bit slow getting on the Wi-Fi here. I'm in Paris. Sunny morning. See you checking in with your different reports and weather. So, like I so often say, here we are. And I say that almost as if it's just a turn of phrase. Wherever you are, however you are, here we are. But that's like, I would say in many ways that those three lines contain the very essence of my practice. Wherever I am, and one's constantly moving, right? Yesterday I was in Italy, today I'm in Paris, but actually even if you're home and you feel like you're just in one place, you're moving, you're moving around the space you're in. And so where you are is totally not fixed, right? You're constantly, like if you just move your gaze left to right, the world is not at all static. Your geography, you might say, oh, I live in this city, or I live in this apartment, or whatever. But, moment to moment to moment, where you are is completely unfixed. Right? Your audio landscape is changing. Your visual landscape is changing. Your sensory landscape, your tactile landscape, your olfactory landscape. Like everything is constantly changing. And yet, wherever you are, in other words, amidst the constant changing of what you're seeing and hearing, etc., and however you are, like whatever is going on, whatever pleasure or pain, whatever, if we list the classic worldly winds, the Buddha describes whatever pleasure and pain. Oh, hello, Wolfgang. Yes, I did think of that it's a bit, that sitting in front of the window is probably not ideal. Let me see if I can pull the curtains a bit. It's a little bit boudoir-ish now, but an orange tinted. I'll sit somewhere else tomorrow, maybe. Anyway, well, it all feels a bit orange to me now. I'm going to open them a bit more. You'll just have to sit with me as if I'm in the witness protection program a little bit if I appear in silhouette. So wherever you are, constant changing world, landscape, situation. And however, this is more crucial still, however you are, whatever pleasure or pain, discomfort, whatever good fortune you may be enjoying or misfortune, whether people are happy with you or not, or disappointed in you or judgmental of you, etc. In other words, we could say whatever the outer conditions and whatever the inner conditions, wherever you are and however you are, there is something more primary than that. That's what we give. So we give so much attention to where I am and how I am. Where I am and how I am. Am I in the right place? Not just geographically, but I want to be in the right place in my life, or I want to be in the right place with you, or whatever that is. And it's understandable, of course. We are pleasure-seeking creatures. We are success-seeking. Right? We would rather be appreciated than judged or blamed, etc. Of course we would. But amidst the constant sort of curating in various ways of where we are and how we are, amidst the understandable attempt to want to feel comfortable and happy and to have a pleasurable existence. And amidst the attempts to get the situation like that, and sometimes we succeed, right, as well, and sometimes we don't. But more primary than that is the fact that here we are, here I am, here I am. And a recipe for a free life is to keep the primacy of that, so that the where I am and the how I am, and the what, the particular, how convenient or comfortable my current circumstances seem to be, is secondary, secondary, secondary. Here we are. And so to actually come into, right, the where we are and the how we are, with that sense of, oh, letting it be, the here we are, here I am. So, oh, sensory life is like this. Oh yeah. Legs, buttocks, spine, breath. Particular feeling, caught some sun yesterday in Italy. I can feel it, I can feel it kind of prickling a little in my chest. Oh yeah, here we are. And giving some attention to the current state. Oh, a little bit sleepy. Also kind of some openness. Oh, here we are. And there's the tension in this case, a lot of tension just gently settling inward, and yet also not inward in a way that's exclusive. So also making room for you, the fact that I'm here with others. So I guess the question would be, how primary is the here I am, here I am, here I am? How primary is here-ness in your life? How primary is presence in your life? If you get if the where I am and how I am becomes primary, then you're just pulled around by the endless attempts at comfort and convenience, and the endless disappointment when you can't get that quite right, and the endless friction with the attempt to make the whole universe conform to your comfort and convenience, to your preferences. Oh dear. There'll be some comfort and convenience along the way, and there'll be some discomfort and inconvenience along the way. Presence is primary. And we realize we're always in the right spot somehow, regardless of whether I like it or not, or all that secondary stuff. We always are in the right spot. We could only ever be in the right spot here. Oh, here. Like this. So, where are you? Here. How are you? Like this. That's always true. Always true. Always true. You can always find yourself in that orientation. Ah, where am I? Right here. How am I? Oh, like this. And therefore, let me come in. Let me listen. Let me open. It is like this, dear friends, that we sit together in meditation. Take your seat. Set up your posture. Steady base. A long, strong back. Upright. Dignified. and a soft, relaxed front. Open, receptive, relaxed. You might make a moment to really notice that contrast between strong back and soft front. And the qualities of a strong back. Certain kind of resolve, some confidence, strength, steadiness. A strong back gives us this phrase of sitting like a mountain. Right here, like this. And then sensing into a soft front, letting the muscles in your face relax, and your throat and your chest, your diaphragm and your belly. And the qualities of a soft front, gentle, receptive, allowing. Allowing of whatever arises and passes. And part of that arising and passing in every moment is breathing. So sitting here with a strong back and a soft front. And feeling the breath circulating through, rising up the back with the in-breath. And letting your attention gently flow down the front with the out-breath. And letting everything else be secondary. So that wherever you are and however you are, you're here. Here in the aliveness of things, the intimacy of things, the directness of things. letting here-ness be primary. A felt sense of being here. The aliveness of body sitting. The flow of breath breathing. The coming and going of everything. Present in the midst of it all. Relaxing into presence. Letting go of subtle tensions. Of extraneous thoughts. Of agitation. Of ideas about your meditation practice. Of trying to meditate. You're already here. wherever you are, wherever your attention might be going, whatever the seeming reality of this moment, whatever preoccupations may be appearing, whatever ideas or images or interpretations are forming your sense of this moment, wherever you are, here you are. Let presence be primary. And however you are, whether you're feeling bright or dull, agitated or calm, contented or frustrated or irritated, can you just hold your current state lightly? Not take it all so personally. More important than how you are, than how you feel right now, it's just the fact that you are. The fact that there's a mind, a body, a world, a life. So let presence be primary. When we make presence primary, then whatever else happens, wherever attention goes, whatever mind and body feel like, we can meet those changing moments with a certain sense of curiosity, of allowing, of not taking it all so personally. Whatever's happening, most essentially, it's as if, it's happening in order to be met. It's happening in order to be received in presence. It's happening in order to be seen and known and felt and allowed to pass. So for these remaining few minutes of the sitting, wherever you are, whatever's forming the content of your experience, and however you are, however you might be feeling, let presence be primary. Here we are. May we all hold our experience more lightly, more loosely, more lovingly. May we relax our fixations on where we are and how we are, so as to feel more fully that here we are. May presence be primary as the ground of a life lived more fluidly and freely. This is our practice. This freeness is our possibility. May we all know the taste of liberation. lens. I'm wondering if my camera lens is a little... let me just clean the camera lens a little. Oh yeah, I think that's helped. Oh, there we go. It was a little smeary. I thought this week I wanted to really make sure this week we got a full half hour or more of meditation in. So just the intention to keep the teachings a little brief in the morning and really let the presence be primary, let the sitting together be primary. There's time for some questions. Anything that seems like it might be helpful to explore or ask about, please feel free. I see that George has just posted in a question from yesterday, which I'll respond to. Before I get into that, just the reminder that all this is supported through your dana, that this is dana, right? It's offered teachings, practices, connection, community, right? It's offered. And dana is about the reciprocity of offering. So we want to support you the best we can. So offering teachings and practices every day. And we ask you, please support us the best you can. Offering dana, maybe every day or once a week or whatever that might be. So George has just pasted in the link to that at sangha.live/donate. So thank you for whatever you're able to offer and feel moved to offer and then do offer. All right. Judy says about that yesterday I spoke about ritual and referred to a wedding and the ritual of that. And she says, I meditate and do Qigong and now have added Wim Hof breathing. Are these rituals or habits? Well, I would say most essentially they're practices, right? They're practices, and if you do a practice regularly, it becomes a habit, right? A good habit. You know, it's easy to generate not such good habits. It's easy to generate habits based on what the Buddha calls greed, hatred, and delusion, right? On habits based on desires, defenses, and distractions. Those are very easy habits to build. But to build habits based on presence, connection, wisdom, you know, those are not such easy habits. And so we have practices to develop them. What makes them ritual? I would say ritual is where we invest something with the power that comes from repetition, connection, and symbolism, right? So for example, it might be something very, very simple. It might be like when I turn up here in the morning, I bow. Right? It's a very simple ritual. Or it might be that we light a candle before meditating. Or it might be that before you step onto your Qigong mat, Judy, that there's something particular that you do by way of acknowledging the earth, maybe, or acknowledging your teachers and lineage that you've learned, etc. And the three things I mentioned: repetition, connection, and symbolism. So if I just take the example of lighting the candle, right? There's the potency of what makes it a ritual and gives it potency. Firstly, the repetition. You just do it every day, and you do it, and you're investing that action then with, you're investing it with meaning. You do it every day, and then start something that you do like that with presence and awareness again and again and again. Shades of meaning, subtle meaning start to stand out to you. You find that there's something that feels like, oh, there's something beautiful about the act of lighting the candle. And then the second element, connection. It's not just you lighting this candle. It's a sense of, oh, this is what plenty of other people in space right now and in time have made this same ritual gesture. And that adds a lot of potency to it. And then symbolism, right? That the act is also, it's not just anything that one's doing repetitiously, right? It's something in this sense, the candlelight representing the flame of awareness, representing the kind of miracle of the fundamental brightness of life. Right? So that's just a very, very simple ritual. You light a candle in the morning, but through the repetition, through the connection to others that have done and over time and do use the same ritual, and through the symbolism of what's represented it by it, it takes on those qualities of ritual. So I would say that's what makes, that is what the ritual element of a practice is. Okay, what's next? Jane says, it's easier for me to engage with questions when talking rather than writing. Yeah, something about the intersection between the continuum of needs and wants and the practice. Yeah, I'm sure I would say generally, we get a little more from exchanging like that, verbal cues, that we can express ourselves. When you write a question, all you've got is words, right? When you say a question, you've got the words and you've got the tone and you've got the eye contact and you've got the speed, the pitch, and all that is part of the question. You've also got the body language, the gestures, you've got the facial expression that goes with it. If one's asking a question like this, right, that adds to the words. So, yeah, I agree. And that's why, originally we really wanted to preference people asking verbal questions. And yet I think we had underestimated the way people are often using equipment or have set up a connection in such a way that makes it that they don't necessarily come on screen so fluidly or easily. And then it can take a lot longer and be a little less predictable to bring someone on screen. Anyway, let's see. I don't know if anybody has their hand raised right now. I don't see any raised hands here. Lisa says, I just made it, but wanted to thank you. Oh, very nice. Welcome. Reinheld, sometimes rituals that are helpful for me and that I initially, sorry, the text has zoomed. Sometimes rituals that are helpful for me and that I initially appreciate, like a gratitude ritual at mealtime or in the evening, after some time seem to turn into a kind of duty or chore for me, and then I give them up. Yeah. So there's two ways one can. One is that one just does one's got the repetition part, just doing it, but you're not including the connection and the symbolism part. So that's important. If you don't connect that, then you're just doing it. It seems like sort of automatically, or like a duty or a chore. And so then, yeah, you might want to, if that's the case, if that seems to be the case, bring back the connection, right? The fact that, oh, this is something that's worth doing. This is something that many people have done because it's beneficial. And the symbolism, like, why are you doing it? What's helpful about it? Right? What does that ritual represent, so that you can connect to the benefit? And then the other thing that can happen around that then is that you just, you've gotten to the end of it, that you don't need it anymore. So maybe you've done a gratitude ritual and that's helped you to connect to a sense of appreciation, the remembering of your good fortune. And then if you've done that for a while and maybe that's helped to make that more real for you, then maybe you don't need it anymore. That's the other reason to give up a ritual, if it doesn't seem to serve you anymore. Yeah. Jane, hi there. Go ahead. You need to just unmute yourself. I can see your little thumbnail, Jane, but you're muted. Okay, well, yeah, you'd be welcome to ask your question, but unless you can unmute yourself, I won't be able to hear it. There's a little microphone icon down at the bottom of the screen, which you should be able to unclick. You have unclicked it? Oh, well, to me, that's what I was talking about earlier about the technically. Normally we can just click to mute and unmute ourselves, but even though it seems like you've done that, I'm still seeing you as muted, I'm afraid. Maybe George can intervene and help out while I look at the other questions, and then maybe we can hear from you. Can you see if you can figure that out, George, with Jane? Thanks. Ruth says, what about the ritual that is not repeated? Like next week, I'm scattering my mum's ashes in the sea. I'm in the process of trying to create a meaningful ritual, right? I will be alone on the boat. I realize I'm coming against some fear that I only have one chance at this. Well, you only need one chance. You can't get it wrong, Ruth, right? You can't get it wrong. I think that's probably helpful. And the connection and the symbolism, right, are very, very, I'm sure, are very alive in that. And also there is repetition, right? You're only doing it once, but scattering the ashes of a dead relative, people have done that, you know, that has repetition like deeply built into it. For thousands of years, people have been doing that. So the repetition is in the process. It's not your repetition, right? But you're connecting to a sense of, oh, that's, you know, it's an inherited ritual, and then you're making it your own. So you'll reflect, right, on connection to your mother and to maybe others and to just that wider scheme of life, the living and dying, the way the ashes are representing that, your connection to the person, but also their simultaneously their presence there with you in memory and in heart, and their absence. And so the symbolism and the connection are right there, and then a sense of repetition that you're drawing on. It's like, oh, this is what humans do to honor loved ones. Yeah. And yes, the thing about only having one chance, I think that thought, you can't get it wrong. Can't get it wrong. Right? So there's not a specific way. And I see that also it's different when you're alone, but in group rituals, whether that's in a retreat, sometimes when I do something that has ritual elements, or at the wedding I was talking about at the weekend, if one gets tight around a sense of ritual, then people feel uncomfortable and the whole thing doesn't work. So some sense of just relaxing, can't get it wrong. Relaxing, enjoying, sensing, yeah, holding it lightly. Holding it lightly. Okay.
Sorry to bother you, but I can't unmute Jane. It had to be something done prior to the session, and I can't do that. It's something probably with her own system. So.
Okay. Well, thank you for trying, George. Sorry about that, Jane. Part of the reason, she says, part of the reason I wanted to come on, as well as it being easier, was to see if the system was working. Yeah. So I don't know. I can only assume, Jane, that even though you're unmuted, that your settings, whatever the microphone you have, whether you have an internal or an external microphone, I wonder if you've got that set up. If you go into the little cog settings, all right. I'm sorry, I can't help beyond that right now. It's tricky, you know, across whatever equipment people might be using and whatever way it's set up, you know. We've used and tested this platform sufficiently that, like, for example, George and I, we just managed to mute ourselves and unmute ourselves. When there's a problem, you know, I don't think in this case it's the platform problem. And so that I don't know what that can be then, and I'm sorry that you're experiencing that difficulty from your side. Yeah, there we go. Hence the way it's easier to rely on written questions. All right, I think I've gotten to all the questions that were asked. And you might see, Jane, that George has made that little the encouragement to be in touch through email and try and figure it out that way. All right, friends, please go through the day in the light of our practice today. Please notice the constantly changing inner and outer landscape. Please notice the different moods and mind states, so that wherever you are and however you are, it can be increasingly and more deeply apparent to you that here you are, and that freeness is the taste of really being here. Freeness amidst the changing landscape, freeness amidst the changing mind states. See you tomorrow. Thank you.